Hi, how are you?
Fine, yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Well, thank you again for taking the time out to speak with me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, so I wanted to get started asking about how you became involved in starring in the series and what really interested you about the story, overall story, and your character overall.
Well, Jonathan Levine, who I had worked with before on a movie called The Night Before, he called me up and he asked me if I'd like to join him down in Australia to make this show. I wasn't familiar with the book, I hadn't read it, and I said, "Well, can I read some of the scripts?" And I read them, and I thought it was a very unique story. I hadn't really seen anything quite like it, so I was immediately intrigued, and yeah, that got me into it.
And speaking also about the book, once you signed on to star in on the show, did you read the book at all, or maybe do any other research, or what was your preparation process like as well?
Uh, yeah, I did a lot of research. I read parts of the book. There was one specific part of the book that I read quite a bit, called Napoleon, basically, which kind of revealed Napoleon's thought processes very vividly. And I also did a lot of research, finding things that other parents who had been through the loss of a child due to suicide, things they had written, things they had said, um, kind of trying to see what their experiences had been dealing with this issue. Yeah.
And also, I wanted to ask about once you get on a ride on set, what that process was like of working with the rest of the cast and really building your characters' relationships as well.
Yeah, it was intimidating to show up and basically meet people for the first time and try and create a family with total strangers is not an easy thing to do. I didn't really know Asher at all. I'd never met her. I hadn't really seen any shows she had been in or anything. So when I met her in Australia, it was the first time we'd ever spoken. And, a week later, week and a half later, we're in a hotel room doing a scene together and trying to um, create this relationship. And, but Jonathan is such a wonderful director, and he was very patient with us and allowed us to really uh, spend a lot more time than you probably usually would on the scene, and just really try a bunch of different options, and we found our way eventually. Yeah.
And speaking also of working with Jonathan, I also wanted to ask a little bit more about that experience collaborating together on set as well with him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Jonathan and I seem to have a natural affinity with one another. We definitely share, a sense of humor, I think, and yeah, the great thing about Jonathan is that no matter how intimidating or challenging the scene or the material you're doing that day is, he always shows up with a lot of optimism, and he never seems particularly stressed out, and he's always just willing to uh, listen to whatever you have to say, and if you need time to talk about something, he takes the time. And so it's very smart approach, I think, because uh, he gets the cast to feel comfortable, or as comfortable as you can feel being in front of a camera. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was me, Leah, but thank you again for taking the time out. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Karen. Thank you.
Thanks.